Yeah. What up, my peoples? Um, Good morning. I'm back again. And you know how I always kick it off, right? You remember the name yet? First, we go on pause. Let me pause first. Give a moment of silence for the Most High. Give praise to the Most High. Take a moment of silence for us to all give praise to the Most High. And then I want to take another moment to recognize our ancestors without whose wisdom, guidance, and protection we would not be here. So let's take a moment of silence to acknowledge the ancestors. Okay, so you guys ready for me? Do you remember the name even? What's the name? You know, this is my docu-series before becoming mayor of NYC, right? But what's the name? What's the name of the candidate, the 110th mayor of New York City for the Rise of the Good People campaign? Do you remember? Aaron Benjamin Miles. Aaron Benjamin Miles. Rise of the Good People. Aaron Benjamin Miles, the 110th mayor of NYC. Aaron Benjamin Miles. Before becoming mayor of NYC, Aaron Benjamin Miles. Aaron Benjamin. Benjamin Miles. Aaron Benjamin Miles. Aaron Benjamin Miles. 110th mayor of NYC. Rise of the Good People. We rising. Rise of the Good People. And this is my docu-series tracking my daily life and progress towards becoming the 110th mayor of NYC, entitled Before Becoming Mayor of NYC. Cuomo faces third accuser, calls Grove for New York governor to resign. We'll kick it off with that because today my topic is going to again be agency abuse of authority. Agency abuse of authority. It's coming out now. Cuomo faces third accuser, calls growing for his resignation. I've been saying it the whole time. That's the first thing on my platform as I'm running for mayor of NYC, and that is the thing. That is the inspirational factor which pushed me towards becoming a candidate. My personal experience with agency abuse of authority, and there's a thing in agencies, New York City agencies, I'm sure it's all of the agencies throughout the United States, called the chain of command. And what that basically is something starts at the top and it trickles down the different levels, the different ranks. So what we have is a systemic cultural a systemic cultural, what I call that? Something that's a bad example. I'm trying to, I like to get the right words. A systemic, wow, the word just evades me, but it's something that starts at the top. This bad behavior is starting at the top. This bad behavior is being set and established from the top head honchos in these chains of command. So I guess someone at the very top setting a bad example by mistreating, violating, and abusing his authority to someone right below him. But that person that's right below the head honcho is above somebody. And instead of addressing that abuse of authority with the head honcho, he passes it down to the person beneath him or her. So that person mistreats the person beneath them because they found justification in the behavior by the head honcho. And so it continues to travel down the chain of command until it gets to the last person on the chain, who is usually the client of the agency or the voter of the establishment. We don't have anybody to pass it back down to. We're at the bottom. So that's where it's very toxic. See, everybody else, they have an outlet to transfer that bad energy. They just pass it to the next person below them. That's what's happening. But at the bottom, there's no one for us to pass it to. There's no link on the chain below the lowest link, which is usually the client or the voter. And so we're stuck with all of this negative energy that has been passed down from the top all the way down to us. And we just full of all of this bad negative energy, which is making us worry to death, adding to our worry to death. Cuomo is accused, Governor Andrew Cuomo. Now, this is how I'm seeing it. This is what I'm seeing what's happening. Now, he got so many accusers coming at him, and they're showing a pattern. Like one of his lines, on the street, you got to get your lines together. We call it your game or your rap, or how you gonna get the ladies. You usually study, your approach and the lines that seems to, have the most success. And I'm hearing the pattern in his rap, in his game. One of his lines is, "Do you sleep with older men?" All of these accused women seem to have been exposed to that line right there. Do you sleep with older men? So they can't be lying. That's part of his rap. That's part of his game. Are you monogamous? Or do you sleep around? Do you sleep with have you ever slept with an older man? Like, say, about my age? Because I'll get up in you. I mean, I don't mean no offense, I'm trying to come at you as subtle as possible because I don't want you to, file a complaint or something. But they're being enabled. They're getting away with it so much, and they're seeing people above them doing it, that no one's thinking that there's anyone watching, or that there's anyone around who will hold them accountable to this bad behavior. There it is. Bad behavior. Trickling down the chain of command. Bad behavior. And no watchers. No regulators. No disruptors. No enforcers. That's what's missing in politics. Someone to disrupt this bad behavior, this culture of bad behavior. We need some disruptors. We need some regulators. We need some enforcers to enforce the rights of those of us who are at the bottom, whose body is being pumped full of this worry to death. Yeah, I'm coming though. I'm not a politician. I'm an intelligent savage from the streets. So I know how to deal with these actors of the bad behavior. They're bullies. And bullies only understand one language, the language that they speak. It's the bully language. And the problem we've been experiencing thus far is all of our politicians, or most of them, the ones who attempt to try to address these issues, they try to address them with love and understanding and consciousness of right and wrong. Bullies don't speak that language. That's why it's not working. I'm sorry. Bullies don't understand that. Bullies only understand the language they speak. These politicians are coming into the game with two faces. I call it the Gemini effect. They have two faces. They're showing us the face initially that they know would most likely win your vote of confidence. They put that other face behind them. They hide the other face until they get elected. See, because once you make your vote, see, before the vote, you hold all the power. This is what you need to understand, my people, good people. Before the vote or before the election, you hold all the power. But once you vote, what you're saying is, I'm handing over all of my power to this person to speak on my behalf, to represent me and my interests. I'm charging this person with my vote, with all of the power that's bestowed upon me. And after that election and you cast your vote, you don't have no power no more. They have all your power. That politician with the Gemini effect, with the two faces. And what I've noticed with these politicians, what they're doing is they show the one face to get the vote. And as soon as they feel like they've mastered and controlled, as soon as they feel they're in control of this power that you pass to them, as soon as they feel they have control of this power that we pass to them, they try to amputate us from that power. They try to amputate us from that power that we bestowed upon them so that they can use that power for their own self-gain, their own personal interests. Ain't that something? I'm going to say it again. Before the election, you, the voter, hold all the power. And these politicians come with the Gemini effect, two faces. Once you cast your vote, after you voted, you've handed over all of your power to the candidate that you voted for. And most of the time is these politicians with these Gemini effects, these two faces. And once he have obtained that power and feel he's comfortably secure in control of all of your power, he tries to amputate you from the very power you bestowed upon him or her for their own personal interest and their own personal gain. And then they get to a point where they start to abuse the power. They start to abuse their authority. They start to abuse the privilege that you've bestowed upon them. And as far as we are concerned, as these little minuscule peons, clients or voters, this is where they get confused. They deal with us one by one. They like to isolate us as individuals. Because as individuals, we don't hold so much influence and power. And they get used to violating us one by one so often that they forget we're the same ones that collectively have all the power. They forget that. They just start looking at us as peasants. And they have all the power over these peasants. Ah, peasants. Be still. Be quiet, peasants. Shut your mouth. I'll do as I please. I am a giant to you. And unfortunately, when you deal with them on a one-to-one basis, they are a giant to you. And hence you have all the young ladies who are now coming forward to make their complaints about the sexual harassment and the abuse of authority. But as you see, as more victims come forward with these complaints, their numbers start to accumulate. And as the numbers accumulate, so does the power. And when enough victims come forward to make their complaint about this gross abuse of authority and violations by these elected officials, the tables start to turn because, like I said, they got their power from us in the first place. So once we start to come together again to voice our concerns, those numbers start to regain control and power. And then the politician is reminded of where he got all of his power in the first place. It's from us, the people. Wow. That Gemini effect is something. Like, I'm a victim of it right now. I've been terminated from my job in New York City. I've been a victim of sexual harassment and sexual misconduct by Miss Desiree Royer Brown, asking me, I quote, "Do I want to fuck this pussy?" That's sexual harassment by a director to an insubordinate. She knows better than to come at an insubordinate as a director and even let those words come out of her mouth on the clock. It may have been excusable if we were off the clock and maybe at a bar, if I was hanging out with her or something. But this is on the clock in the office with other workers and clients in there handling city business. She's going to ask me when I come to her to explain to her why I'm leaving my booth, why I'm not at my cubicle. If you look over there, the reason why I'm not at my cubicle is because I'm going back and forth to the bathroom, because I'm drinking a lot of water, because I'm flushing my system, because I'm feeling ill or sick. I go to her to explain this to her, and her response to that is, "So do you want to fuck this pussy?" That, my people, coming from an executive on the level of a director, is sexual misconduct, sexual harassment. But how do you prove? How do you prove it? See all these young ladies coming forward? They're telling, but it's just really their words, because it's very rare that you're going to have any kind of documented proof of this behavior, because they already know it's a violation of their authority. It's an abuse of their power. Because the reason why that's abuse of power and authority It's not so much with people that's on the same level. The reason why it's such an abuse of authority from an executive to an insubordinate, because you automatically feel if you don't give the right response, your job could be on the line. If you reject their proposal or their offer or their advancements, they could make your life very difficult on the job. That's why it's specifically written within the policy that that's forbidden. Even a casual relationship between an executive and a subordinate, it's just prohibited. They call it fraternizing. You're not supposed to have none of them casual, friendly relationships with them, because if anything goes left, they could really make your life a living hell on the job. Miss Roya Brown, Desiree, I'm still pursuing that. Charges filed, EEOC, Human Rights Commission. You know, that's all filed. I got to get out of y'all court. See, in the city, a lot of the times also, they like to keep the ball in their court. Because these agencies, they have their own court. They have all these people that's supposed to mediate and try to resolve the problem. The problem is they all work for the agency that's being accused. And they all are pre-programmed to know what the outcome of any situation has to be. It's like, I call it the Las Vegas rules. The house never loses. You can't receive justice until you go to a court or mediation outside of the agency walls. They have their own EEOC in there, Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, inside, who never going to find their way to seeing your side. They're never going to find favor in your side. They're going to always find a way to blame you for whatever situation you're complaining about. Oh no, that was your fault. You made the wrong move. Oh no, you shouldn't have been that close to that director. Like, how did she get to say that to you? How close were you to her? Instead of, why did she say that? She knows better than that. They'll say, well, how close were you? Did you have one? Were you dressed in something provocative to get her to say that? Like, what did you do to make her say that? This is how they logic goes. You could come with as much evidence and as much logic and as much sense as it takes, but it'll be at a loss. It'll be a waste of your time, because they already have their mind made up to make their judgment in favor of the agency. And this enables the agency and all of its executives to continue to abuse their authority. They know they're never going to be held accountable. Just like the police officers that's killing these innocent people. If a police kills an innocent person without justification and then is taken to court and he's not held accountable, what is he going to do except kill another innocent individual? He's going to start feeling like, hey, this is legal. It's my right, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to kill you. You can take me to court. So what? What do you think is going to happen? They're going to say, acquitted, dismissed, get out of here. What did you do to make that cop kill you? You turned your back on him while he was talking to you? That's disrespectful. I would have shot you too. Are you going to turn your back on the officer of law while he's talking to you? I would have blasted you in the back of your head too, right? Not what the law says, which is, if he's not posing a danger, especially because his back is to you and he's running away from you, you're not supposed to shoot because your life is in no danger. But in these courts, with these advocates of the white agenda, they find a way to legalize that, because that's what the white agenda is all about. It's people in high places of authority legalizing any method necessary to maintain power, control, and domination over us peons. But now The truth is coming to light. And just like the truth is coming to light with Governor Cuomo, he'll soon be out of there. And the people are starting to see what it is, and the people are coming together. And I'm going to receive satisfaction with this HRA situation. I'm going to deal with not having my livelihood right now. See, they do that to try to hurt you. Before they terminated me, they gave me a 30-day suspension without pay. They're like, how can we hurt this dude? How can we pump him full of worry to death? Let's give him a 30-day suspension without pay. All right, I have to eat that. So I don't get no pay, and the pay that I'm waiting for is only half because they cut it in the middle of my pay period, my pay cycle. So I'm only going to get half of that check when I do get it, but I ain't going to get it till the suspension is over in 30 days. And then I'm thinking after that, I'm going to have that little check. So it's going to take 2 weeks before I'm going to see another check because I'm going to have to wait the whole 2 weeks since I'm off for the whole month before I see another check. And that was hopeful thinking because before the suspension ended, they hit me with an immediate termination. Plow, that wasn't good enough. We ain't pumping full enough or full of worry to death yet. Just terminate him. Terminate him, Steven Banks. Put that pressure on him. Pump him full of that worry to death. We want to see him squirm. So now I got this termination. So I said, okay, I'm terminated. I'm pretty happy I'm finished with this chapter of my life because for the last 5 years, well, out of the 5 years, for about 4 of the 5 years, all I've been doing is going back and forth with these clowns violating me, and then they expect me to just take that and keep my mouth shut. And everybody who I go to make a complaint, this is the problem. Everyone who you go to, who they advise you, who they instruct you, who they teach you, these are the people, if you have a problem, these are the people you can report it to that will intervene and address the issue. Well, I went to all of those people. It never worked. They never found any cause in my complaints to intervene. So for 4 out of 5 years, I'm dealing with these clowns violating me, depriving me of pay increases of $15,000 while every one of my other coworkers get a pay increase. They withhold it from me. That's discrimination. Why do they do that? Maybe because I'm so outspoken and I'm telling them, you can't keep violating us workers. You can't talk to us a certain way. You can't be abusing us. You abusing your authority. Like, I'm this person. And they're probably like, this guy talks too much. So let's make an example of him and show him what happens when you talk too much. Let's reward everybody else for keeping their mouths shut when we abuse them and show him what we do to the people who speak out. So all my coworkers who are afraid to stand up for them, they got rewarded for being submissive. And I got penalized for being outspoken. And they call that retaliatory action. Retaliatory action. Like when I told my director, you can't violate my freedom of speech and tell me I can't say certain things if it doesn't fit within policy and procedure, where I'm using vulgar language or I'm threatening someone directly or something like this. You can't tell me I can't say street. You can't tell me I can't say I have a street side when somebody talks reckless to me, so I can get them to not do that or let them understand there's a chance I might talk reckless back to you. I have a street side. Like, you should be careful with that. So what do? They suspend me again. 30-day immediate suspension. And when they suspend me, they don't even tell me what it's for, which is, again, in violation of the policy and procedure, the contract and agreements, the civil service laws, the city charter. I will have satisfaction. And the good people are coming together, and we are beginning to see the truth. The truth is coming to light. And all of you guys at the top who we empowered with our confidence, with a vote, who then think you're going to amputate us from the very power we hand it to you. Coming with that Gemini effect. Your time is limited, peoples. You're about to be eliminated. Yes. We're pretty much fed up with you. And we don't need any more politicians now, because I believe we have enough laws and rights already in place. What we need is disruptors, regulators, and enforcers. So any politician that comes and his solution to a problem is introducing another law, that's just another way of them saying, sorry, I can't enforce the laws and your rights that are already existing. So I'll create a new one to create a smoke screen and make the illusion that I'll maybe enforce this new one that I'm introducing. But all them other ones that's there already, I can't do nothing for you with those. We don't need these kind of people. So my good people, this is your boy, Aaron Benjamin Miles, before becoming mayor of NYC. You see it right there. Aaron Benjamin Miles. Before becoming mayor of NYC. Aaron Benjamin Miles. I'm trying to cut my videos a little shorter. It's the rise of the good people, because we rising, people. Intelligent savages is in the building. New York City savages. We political now. The game is changing. It's time to clean house. It's time to bring in the disruptors. It's time to bring in the enforcers. It's time to bring in the regulators. I'm here to set it off. Aaron Benjamin Miles, I need those 7,500 signatures to officiate my candidacy as an independent candidate. I need at least 1,000 contributions by way of this campaign finance board to get these matching funds so I can really use this money to pay my rent for my campaign headquarters, so I can pay for these expenses, so I can pay my workers and my staff that I'm about to bring on. I'm going to be transparent with you people, and as I learn this political game, I'm going to share it with you. And we're going to learn together. And we're going to do what it do. We're going to make New York City beautiful. Like, New York City is dope. All these nationalities and cultures, beautiful people, Black, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, all these religions, Islamic, Christian, Catholic, Buddhist, all of them. All these different lifestyles, straight, bi, LGBT, all of these things is what makes New York City so beautiful. And I'm coming to embrace all of them. Every sex, every color, every nationality. They all good. That's why this campaign is called The Rise of the Good People. Good people are an endangered species that I believe needs to be protected. And I'm coming to protect them. Aaron Benjamin Miles, Rise of the Good People. Before becoming mayor of NYC. The New York City savages, baby. We political now.